Hi, and welcome to Pork Chops with Citrus. So, the opening shot there, that's my pork chops that I marinated last night. And they just, it doesn't need much marinade. And pork chops actually can take marinade pretty quickly. These are overnight, so they should be good. But if you only have, an hour or two to marinate, that's fine. So, I have a 10-inch saute pan. This is not a non-stick pan. This is a standard pan, and I make sure I get it hot first, and then I put my oil in it. I thought I had just a little touch too much oil in it, so I poured a little bit out. I guess that's about 2 tablespoons, maybe a little bit more of oil that I have in there. So I patted my pork chops dry, and then I dredged them lightly in the seasoned salt, pepper, and flour. So now they've been going for a little bit and they've got some nice color to them. I would have preferred to have my pan just a little bit hotter and gotten just a little bit more color a little quicker. However, that's what I have to work with. So I get some good color, and I watch that I don't scorch the little bits in the pan. So I put in, this is my red pepper that I roasted. I choose to roast mine, you don't have to. But I roasted mine, and then the green onions. And now here's the Grand Marnier. Now when you do this, you got to be ready. If you're on an electric stove like me, it's not going to flame. If you are on a gas stove, it's going to flame, and it's going to flame big. So you need to stand away from the stove, pour it in, and then light it. And you're going to get a flame that's about 2 or 3 feet tall. So be prepared for that when you pour in that Grand Marnier. It's got a lot of alcohol in it. So after you flame off the alcohol and bring it back to the heat, that's when I put in my reserved juice that I squeezed last night. And then I put in my demi-glace and my citrus zest, my orange zest. And so I put the pork chops back into the pot. I'm going to let it simmer a little bit. You notice what I'm doing is I'm just trying to splash the sauce over the pork chops to kind of baste them. And I do that back and forth a little bit. I go for about a minute. Of course, I've sped this one up. I go for maybe 2 minutes more. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out and put them on the serving plate. I'm not doing individual portions for this. I'm doing a service plate so we can make our own plates later. And I did a little bit extra sauce on this because I know I was going to have potatoes. So anyway, I wanted a little bit more sauce. So I'm finishing it with the butter here. And I have the heat off. So what you see is kind of the residual heat from my stove, and then the whole butter. And I'm going to swirl it in. And that's what we call mounted with butter or finished with butter, or in French, it's monté à beurre. And that's a very common thing to do when you're doing pan sauces. And that's what this is exactly, is a type of pan sauce that we've just made. So now I've put in my supremes of orange, and I'll pour that over. Again, I could have reduced this sauce a little bit more, but I didn't want to because I knew I was going to have the whole thing later and I wanted the extra sauce. But again, you don't have to use that much sauce, or you could reduce it a little bit more. But that's the pork with citrus. Enjoy.